going on, everyone? I want to welcome everyone to a newest episode of the Smooth Podcast, simply motivating others onward through hope. Here to the left of me, my evil twin, my heavenly twin, Mr. Lem Shep. How you doing, man?
Hey man, just happy to be here another day. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Just come on with it. I'm ready.
All right. Well, first, a lot of people might know him as the workout guy that, screams a lot, gets everyone energetic. I've known him for a few years now, and, potentially some of you guys might know him as, a different kind of person. We're going to jump into all of that. First and foremost, I want to kind of talk about how he started. So, where were you born and raised, and how was your childhood?
I was born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island. Grew up in Cranston. Grew up in a household with a single father. My mom died when I was about 4 or 5 back in 2000. Ever since, it's just been me, my pops, and my 2 brothers.
And your mother dying at such a young age, how did that impact not only your household but yourself?
My mother passing away at an early age taught me how to grow up fast. It taught me that time doesn't wait for no man. It taught me how to grow up. It taught me how to embrace my emotions at a young age. Even when I didn't understand, it just taught me how fast life can happen, how someone can be here one moment and go in the next. It taught me just how to cherish every moment.
And how did dad do in the terms of not having mom there? So did he have to be, the guy with the hard fist and be the soft person too, or did he just pick one side?
My dad was just himself. He adapted to everything. He never ran. I never went without. I always had everything that I wanted, never lacked for anything. It was a tragedy that came unexpectedly, but I never seen my father doubt that he was able to take care of 3 children, even as hard as it was. I never seen my father cry, break down. I never seen him get weary and well doing. All I know is through perseverance, he was able just to get through every storm, and he just trusted God through the process.
And when this happens, your father is a man of the church, correct?
Ever since I was born, before I was born, yeah.
And what's his official title? I don't want to mess it up.
As of today?
Yep.
My dad's he's a pastor.
Okay. And now, as a pastor, I mean, there's probably no other or bigger test to his faith than his wife passing, right?
Of course.
Was there kind of an influx or a difference in his faith, or maybe some of your other family members being okay, if God is truly real, why is this happening to her?
That's a great question. To answer that question, a lot of people think because you live for God that you're exempt from trouble and tribulations, where in regards the battle necessarily starts once you start living for God. That's when the enemy starts to attack your life. He tries to deceive you thinking that God doesn't care about you, but the Bible says you have to have a new mind to understand that even with the lack of what you think you want, God himself is just enough. And most of the time we fail to realize that. We say, for God I live, for God I die. That means even through the process, even when things don't go my way, that's faith. It's things are making me feel very uncomfortable right now. But that's when your faith is tested. A lot of the times people say, I'll never leave you. I got you back to whatever. But as soon as some wreck and some trouble starts to come, you really see your true friends. It's I'm backing up. You got to deal with that on your own. But that's when God is able to say, listen, I know you lost your mother, you lost your father, your husband, your wife, but I am the best husband. I am the best wife. So we have faith and trust in him that no matter what, he's just going to allow us to have hope, to have an expected end.
Yeah. As a therapist, especially when it comes to trauma, dealing with a loss of a loved one, I usually love focusing on, instead of the passing, focusing on the bright things and wow, thank God that I had X amount of time, whatever amount of time that was with that person. That person at least was in my life for a certain period of time. Did you view it that way, or were you kind of angry and kind of mad at maybe something that you didn't even know who or what you were mad at, but you were just kind of harvested some anger?
So the Bible says the Lord giveth and he taketh away, but still be blessed the name of the Lord. So he can do whatever he wants with what he created whenever he gets ready to do it. He doesn't have to check in with you, me, myself, or whatever. He says even before the foundations of the earth, Like, I created it. Where were you? Like, I didn't check in with you when I created the sun, the heavens, the moon, the stars. I did it because I spoke it into existence. And then when I get ready to call it home, you really don't have no part to play. So it just goes to show that you have to be underneath subjection to God. At an early age, at the age of 5, I never fully grasped, and even at this age now, you still never do. But at that time, I'm still learning God. I grew up in a godly household, but that's what caused me to turn my back on him, because the older I got, the more I realized that people had the same conditions as my mom. They recovered from it. And for her to be this godly woman, this holy woman, living the way that God is calling her to live, it's like, so you delivered somebody that wasn't saved, but you took the one that was saved. So in regards to questioning who he is and why he did what he did, it definitely caused me to like challenge him. It caused me, because of the lack of understanding and the lack of fear and the reference that I had for him. It made me do all this hellacious stuff that I was doing, because it's like, bro, that's not fair. But like, who am I to tell God what to do, what belongs to him?
Yeah. And the biggest caveat of all of it, in my opinion, is like, you know, maybe your mother was such a good person and he's like, nah, like I need her closer to me. Like did that kind of like thought process ever cross your mind either, or no? Does that make sense?
Of course. So I'm glad that God took my mother in the condition that he chose to take her in, as she was living for God.
Mm-hmm,
You understand?
mm-hmm.
So he took her while she was saved, where at a point in time she could have turned her back. I do believe, in regards to like living this lifestyle and having the Holy Spirit and just seeking God, even as of today, like my mom's my lock screen. I see my mom every day countlessly. It's like, why did you rob me of the opportunity of knowing this holy woman, where in regards to me seeking a woman of my own, I lack the example of what I should look up to. But I believe that the scripture that hits my heart is that the righteous cry and the Lord hears them and he delivers them out of all of their trouble. So I believe that her deathbed prayers and her deathbed cries is what got me, per se, to be where I am today, knowing that she wasn't going to be here for long. So that's when you really start to seek God. Like, God, I know I'm not going to be here. I need you to like watch over and take care of my children. Like, there's prayers that stand in the gap of all evil. Do things happen? Of course, God has to chastise you and allow you to feel what it's like when you have your back up against him. But through chastising, he says that he loves us, which ultimately gives us back to an alignment of where he wants you to be. So I believe my mom dying and my revelation, according to my life, it was those prayers that got me to like finally fully submit to God the way that I am today.
And now, obviously, you know, the audience out there can see that you're well-spoken, biblically very intelligent. However, you know, we keep it 100 on this podcast.
Of course.
That isn't the Lem that I first was introduced to, right? So I'm first introduced to a Lem that is on social media saying whatever, however, obviously purposely saying stuff to ruffle feathers. Like, it was like whoever took you 100% serious is just ignorant, because like obviously you were just kind of like throwing stuff out there to see who would react to it. Calling people for physical altercations, like you name it, right? So first off, run me through, I guess, your high school years to, I guess, like Twitter land, and like how potentially you were just so kind of far off the beaten path and how you ended up being there in the first place.
All right, rephrase your question.
How did you end up in that? Like, you right now you seemingly aligned with the path that you need to be on.
Okay.
During that time, you were over here.
I was way off course.
So
what led me astray?
Yes.
What led me astray? I could honestly say that the name that I had, knowing that I was able to do it. You feel me? Like, I know that I could get a reaction out of people, so why not? The attention that it came with it. I was never an attention seeker, but I just like to make people laugh. Like, I like for people to be like, yo, you're bugging. But like in real life, if you knew me like in real life, I was mad calm. Like, I was never like extra in person, but like on the internet, like I'm bored. Like, I'm trying to turn up on the gram or turn up on Twitter. I'm trying to just cause havoc. But that revelation that I get today is seeing how much people pay attention to me. Like, I've never noticed till today, till now, the person that I am today, how many eyes were necessarily on me. Like, the fact that I can go viral willingly at any given moment, effortlessly, it went to show me that people looked at me a certain way, and the talent that I had for the devil, I now use that same voice for God. Like, I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of my transformation. I take full accountability for everything in my life. Why? Because it led up to me being here where I needed to be. And I often tell people that all paths lead to Christ. I could have a record. I can be a felon where God says, as long as you have a broken and a contrite heart, like as long as you come to me broken with the heart of full repentance, I don't even know that side of you. And that's love. Just show me that you're willing to accept me regardless of the lifestyle that I live. Where with you, you have this record of me. People have this record of me. I see people all the time and they're like, yo, bro, like I'm proud of you. Like you're doing X, Y, and Z, but yo, you used to be. But when they go to the past, it's like, yeah. But it's like let who I am today and let who I'm striving to be. Like I'm striving for perfection. Let who I am today and my future be as loud as my past.
Right.
Like be like, yo, bro, like you used to be a mess, but I'm so proud of who you're becoming today.
Right, right.
That's always like, yo, bro, I'm proud of you. But yo, before, bro,
Yeah.
I missed that. It's like, bro, like you want to see me drown. You don't want to see me do good for myself. And what ultimately caused me to change is my daughter. To potentially have my child grow up and be like 15, 17, 18, and someone our age be like, oh, like, yo, Lem's your dad? Like that reaction, like, oh, all right. Or
have you received that like earlier on
with my child? No, because I've always been in her life. I've never was one of those type of people where whether I had money, I'm not gonna come around. Like I've always been in my daughter's life.
So we are gonna move forward, but I do want to like kind of harp on and ask some questions during this period of time because I do feel like it was a crucial period of time. What do you think was maybe the biggest like step over where you were like, damn, like I think I went too far that time?
I never had one.
Never had one. So all the stuff that you were talking about, you know, meet me here if you want, like all that stuff, you never went too far.
I think all of it within itself was too far, but like that was like nothing to me. Like there's a lot. Since you said we're gonna keep it real, like there's a lot of stuff that only like a few people know. That like I was really serious. Like I did a lot of stuff that I'm not proud of. I own it, like in my heart, in my mind, but to like proclaim it and speak about it, nah. But that's what made me who I am today. But as far as like what I did that was too far, I think all of it within itself is too far. All of it. I don't supersede like one time over the next. I think the whole entire season of that lifestyle that I was living, it was all tragic.
And you know, I've had guests on here before that have admitted to that kind of like popularity within the Rhode Island culture, whether it be good, bad, just like the influx of the popularity can sometimes be damning. It can be, you can drown in it. It can be infatuating. Did you find yourself kind of like living in a space in which you knew what you were doing wasn't right, but you loved what it garnered, so you were like, I'm gonna keep on doing it? I know that you said previously that you weren't someone that was big on getting attention, but at the same time, it's hard to like believe that 100% if you kept on doing what you were doing 100%. And then getting all the attention.
So when I say like attention, it was more so like I know I can do it, so I'm gonna just do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I would say now, reflecting on the question and going back into that time, I was prideful, I was self-abased, I was self-exalted, where in a sense I was like, I'm untouchable, I can get away with anything. So it was like I put myself on the front line and I dared something to happen to me, which is crazy because at any given time you see people dropping dead 24/7. I'm sitting here putting myself in a line of trouble, causing like things to happen to me where it's like I look crazy on the outside looking in. But
And now the people around you, whether it be your brothers, whether it be your friends, like what were they telling you at this time? Were they kind of like, yo, you're wilding? Like, did they really pull you aside like, yo, like relax? Or
when you ask me the question like that, like honestly, I just try to ask people like, because I don't go outside no more. Like I nobody really sees me. So like when people like tell me like, yo, you changed, but yo, I'll be like, yo, was I really that bad? It was like, bro, what? Yeah. So like in the moment, like I knew it was bad, but I didn't know to the extremity, like the measures of what I was doing. I didn't know it was that bad. As far as my friends, we were just chilling. I haven't seen them in like over a year because I can't be around them. We don't live the same lifestyle. But I mean, it was fun. Like I enjoyed myself while doing the wrong thing. But like at the end of the day, after like a lot of self reflecting, I always was like, you can ask him. I always be like, yo, bro, I can't do this no more, bro. Like one day I'm gonna change my life. Like I always used to like tweet it or like put it on my close friends, and be like, yo, I can't keep doing this no more. Like I'm gonna change my life one day.
speaking of which, I saw a post that you made the other day about, it was kind of like documenting. You were like, yo, one of these days I'm just gonna give my whole life to God.
Yeah.
Like you reposted it not too long ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you want to kind of just like paraphrase what that quote was and how long ago you said it?
That was most likely, it was 2021. My journey, yeah, October 2021. That was the day my father took over the church as being a pastor. So they like passed the mantle to him, and that was like, I gotta help my pops. It was like I was born and raised in church, but I just wasn't doing the lifestyle. It's kind of like going to school, but you just failing on purpose. But you know the information that it takes to pass.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being in the streets. Like I know what it's like to be around drugs, violence, gangs, but I ain't never jumped off the porch. But I know what's going around me. Like it's my first nature. I can't even say it's like second nature to me. Like I know what this lifestyle is. But like I'm lit right now. You know what I'm saying, like they love me out here. Like I'm getting attention from everybody. Like everyone's showing me love. I'm getting stuff for free. I'm going everywhere for free. Like I'm having a good time. But it's like internally, my heart, my soul, I was like fighting demons, bro. So I was telling people like, yo, bro, I'm gonna change one day. I changed for a little bit. Then I'm back outside in like the same mess. But it was really like it was a strong chain, like a real big stronghold. But in October, I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this no more. I gotta help my father. The legacy with me and my pops, like he's a man that stood in the gap and like prayed with me, prayed for me. After everything that he endured, especially with my mom, it's like, bro, like if my dad would have died today, this is what I'm giving back to him. I can't live like that.
Yeah. I mean, even some of the stuff that you would do with dad, right? Like scaring him and stuff like that. Like you probably wouldn't like do it the same way nowadays, but you was kind of wilding with that too sometimes.
Nah, I still do that to my pops.
I'm
gonna stop doing that again.
I can envision it was always in the kitchen too for some reason. Like he'd always be in the kitchen when you would like wild out on him. Moving a little bit forward, this whole fitness journey, when did that start?
The fitness journey, or when I actually started taking it serious?
Both.
When my brother came home from jail, about 2017, 2018.
Yoked up.
Yeah, he came home. I was always visiting him, and he was always like crazy. I'm like, yo, bro, he's mad big. So he was always giving me workout routines, but I was hooping at the time. That's when I was like a twig, like you. But nah, I was smaller. So like when he came home, he was like, yo, like we gotta get your weight up, bro. Like you look mad small. So I was eating. He waking me up 4 a.m, blizzard, working out outside. I still got the videos to this day. But I say like when he first came home, like 2018. As far as being serious as who I am today, that started when I transferred gyms. I believe that was back in like late 2020, early 2021. That gym that I go to now, it's a different atmosphere that I ain't never like experienced before. It's like being broke and walking into a room full of millionaires that just willingly want to give you money to like put you on the free game. So, and it's just like a community where they just all show love to uplift you. They taught me everything I know.
That's dope, man. And coming out with AMF, do you want to kind of talk to viewers about how that came about, what it stands for, and maybe like the double entendre that it has?
So my fitness brand is called ALLmighty Fitness. It's ALLmighty, ALL. I put two L's in it because we're not lacking anything in this brand. It's just being in the best physical shape of your life and spiritual shape of your life. So, and it's just ALLmighty Fitness. And my goal, I pray over everything that I sell, my brand itself, every video that I post, is that when people hear the word ALLmighty, that a light bulb goes off in their head and they just think of God. And my God is Jesus. A lot of people say, oh, God is God. My God is Jesus. So ALLmighty Fitness, it all stems from just giving God glory. And when people hear the name, that they think of Jesus. As far as how the name itself hit me, I think it was like 2020, 2021. I remember hearing my dad preaching. And this is like when I wasn't like living for God, but he just kept saying it, ALLmighty, ALLmighty, ALLmighty. But it didn't hit me in the moment. I like left and like I was smoking or whatever. And like I had like a high moment and I was like, ALLmighty Fitness, bro, that sounds fire. I took on my phone, I typed it in on Instagram to see if anyone took the name, and nobody had the name. I was calling my friends. I was like, yo, ALLmighty Fitness, how's that sound? I was like, yo, bro, like that could really do its thing. But that version of me and having that brand name, it was never desired to happen that way. Like it took me to be who I am today and who I'm striving to be for my brand to develop and grow.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of being on this path and maybe not living right in accordance to being aligned with God and things of that nature, you also practice celibacy.
Yeah.
Which is very, very interesting. Can you just let us know how long that's been and why?
So with the call, the Bible says don't touch any unclean thing. We call it, like the world calls it sex. We call it fornication. Fornication, which actually just means like sleeping with a woman that you're not married to, and that's being condemned of sin. And it's just a spiritual marriage soul tie. So like if you slept with 10 people and the woman that you're sleeping with is sleeping with 10 people, every demon and every spirit that all 10, 20 people have, like it's all in one bed, and now all of that is inside of you. So knowing that and trying and striving to be the man of God that I'm trying to be, it's like I'm not trying to break God's heart in any aspect of my life. But to answer the question of how long I've been abstaining from, this July will be 2 years. I haven't laid with a woman. Not to say that I haven't tried. Not to say that I haven't put myself in the situation where I was like, if it happens, it happens. But thank God for like the Holy Spirit just blocking that from happening to me.
Just you getting curved.
Nah, like just me literally being in the moment, and then like in my heart, it's like I work so hard to be who I am today, and I have to minister to people to help them with their own journey. So how can I be a hypocrite telling you not to do something? And me in my heart, I'm doing it. Like God doesn't get no glory out of that.
I love that. I do have a little bit of pushback. So I can respect and I understand everything you just said. However, if you end up getting married to someone and you guys are just not sexually compatible at all, can't that lead to the demise of the marriage? Like, wouldn't you want to find that out before you get married?
If God tells me not to do it, who am I to challenge why he's telling me not to do something? That's how I'm looking at it. Like, naturally, it's like, I waited this long. Like, this aspect, it has to be amazing. It has to be fire. But, like, we're really supposed to be intimate with each other, having no knowledge of the previous person that I'm bringing into this situation in the first place. So how can I love on you properly when I have 10 other women in mind, where it's like I'm indirectly challenging to see if she's lining up with Emily because Emily was fire, or girls vice versa. I know Brian, he was bigger than my man now, or he's punting it down, and now like a lot of men just think like it's always supposed to be fire, but who's to say that a woman had better than what I'm giving her in the first place? But if we would listen to God and just abstain, where I don't know anyone previously and you don't know anyone previously, like what we lack, what we don't know, we're going to learn to develop love within that sequence of our life to begin with. And even abstaining from sex, it's like I'm having the time of my life enjoying you for you without enjoying your body. So love gives, lust takes. Like I don't want to lust after you in my heart. I just want to fall in love with you, because beauty is vain. Like marriage is for the rest of my life. So when my body stops functioning, Like I know who I married, which is a hard way of thinking because we've all done it. Like I lost my virginity when I was 13 years old, bro. I was dating my kid's mother for 8 years. That's all I know is sex. Just because I haven't had sex for 2 years doesn't mean that it's on the front of my mind. But when you're able to actually control those thoughts and say that I'm not gonna do X, Y, and Z, I'm able to see everything clearly for a woman for who she really is. Where in regards, if I'm sleeping with her, it's like, yo, this girl is toxic, but it's fire, bro. I can't let nobody else have that. Or she's bad. But like I said, a woman could either uplift you and build you, or she can destroy you. But a lot of times we're blinded because we're so fixated on what she's giving me, or vice versa.
And when it comes to religion, and when it comes to being part of the church, where do you want to grow? Because I did see a post from you that was kind of like, oh, it was something along the lines of like, my father can't, do the sermon today. I asked if I could, and he was like, nah, not yet. So is that a role that you like actually want to step into? Or is it one of those like, hey, if I'm chosen, I'm chosen, but it's just not like.
So we believe that we know what the call and what the gift of our life is to be. I know what mine is. In regards to when I was saying that my dad couldn't teach Bible class, just because I can unravel a few scriptures doesn't mean that it's my timing. You understand? So like there's a season of waiting. There's a season of maturation where I'm growing behind the scenes. Like I'm watching what my father's doing. I'm taking everything in. Like even when Jesus was here, they wasn't like preaching and running off on the scenes and doing everything that he was doing. They was watching. There was a season of like literally dissecting everything that this man was doing. And then he sent him off on his way. And that was after he died. So a lot of the things is just because you're eager to do it, just because you know you can do it, does not necessarily mean that it's your season to do it. Yep. So my eagerness would be like, yo, Dad, like, I can do this for you today. Like, I've been studying. I got my notes here. And he's like, all right, that's good. But we're taught to, like, stay on point, stay on game. Because there's gonna be a time where all this studying and behind the scenes that you're doing, like, you're going to get your call. It just may not be today. I was ready, though.
Yeah, no, I felt it. That's why I asked. Cause I was like, I could tell that like you were a little like, I don't know if you want to admit it, but it seemed like you were like a little hurt by like, damn, like I can't hop in the game yet. Like,
yeah,
damn,
it's
coach,
like
put me in.
Yeah,
like,
put me in, coach, bro. Like we down 6 with 2 minutes left. Like I can get a couple stops, but it's like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait your turn. I know you're ready. I see you working, but your time's gonna come.
Yeah.
But it also teaches me how to be like obedient to like being a student, like. Not to just be in that spotlight, because who can know? Like, what if I did like teach that class and everyone was like so like drawn to me, and then like now I have a bigger head. Like I don't know what would happen as a result after that. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait and just be of good courage. My time's gonna come.
Dope. How do you measure success?
My brand name, man. 1% better every day, brick by brick. As long as I'm doing something to actually build something, like. I'm a man of integrity. Everything that I have to do, everything that I do, it has to make sense. I don't ever do anything aimlessly. Like I kind of play chess, not checkers. Like if I do this, what's the outcome? So success is just being better than who I was yesterday, reflecting on everything that I did at night to be like, you know, I could have did this better. It's a lot of self-examination. A lot of people like to point the faults out of everyone else to say what they did wrong, but me, I literally look in the mirror, the spiritual mirror, and be like, yo, like. I could have said that differently. Or the delivery when I did X, Y, and Z, that was off.
Would you rather be loved or respected?
I'd rather be respected. Respect is something that a lot of people don't give. A lot of people feel entitled to talk to people however they feel like it. But with your name, I feel like people respect your name. People respect your character. I feel like love isn't always respected. Like, I could love my woman, but I cannot respect her at the same time, which is kind of like they don't really intersect as well. But I can have moments where I don't respect her, but I love her. But I'd rather someone be like, yo, you know, like, I respect you as a man. No, nobody like man to man. Like, you don't want me to disrespect you. You can be like, bro, I'm a grown man. You're not gonna talk to me that way. But if I speak to you like a well-deserved man, like I recognize you, you look nice, you look clean, I see you got a lot going on for yourself, I respect you. I'd rather people just respect me. I don't really care about people's love.
You might have more, but name 2 best friends of yours.
Nah, I definitely don't got more. My best friends, 2.
I just need 2.
I gotta do 3. 3 and I'm happy.
I'll let you get 3 off.
All right. In no particular order, because I know this is gonna sound crazy, but besides my girl, my baby, she really helped me like live this spiritual life. Like, it's hard to find a woman that really love God for real. You feel me? Like, a woman that really has her mind set on something, and she's not gonna compromise for anything. That's the kind of woman that I really want to like get close to and grow with. Where in regards to what everyone else is doing, it's like I'm willing to stand in the gap by myself because I'm not willing to do X, Y, and Z. My girl, she my best friend. I love that woman.
Name.
Nah, I haven't said her name. She know who she is.
Okay.
It's not no one's business. I can't say her name. My daughter's godfather, CK, Chris Capone. That's my guy. He's one of the first people that really believed in me in regards to like starting a brand, starting a business. He was like, "Yo, bro, you got clout. Like you can drop anything and people gonna support you." I never really thought people like rock with me for real. I always thought that I was like a good time, that I could just make people laugh. But trial and error, it's like, bro, I'm selling out of everything. Like I'm getting stock within like 85, 100 at a time, and I'm selling out in like 3 days. I'm like, this is crazy.
I'm sure there's been people around the way that said stop freaking just ordering 50, right?
Yeah, you.
Some people along the way.
Yeah.
So we're at 2. We need 1 more.
Benji and Bruni. I'm sorry. I gotta throw Bruni in there. I'm sorry. Rules are meant to be broken.
I said
sometimes.
2 and he ends up with 4.
Because my girl, she my baby. She helped me like she take care of me for real.
So this is gonna make this question a little bit harder then. So out of your girl, CK, Bruni, and who's the other one?
My dog, Benji.
If I ask each one of them, what does Lem need to work on the most? What would each one of them tell me?
Oh my God. That's hard. That's tough.
You're the one that said 4. I want to make it 2. You want to do 4. I'll tell you. I was trying to do 2. But go ahead.
Something that I need to work on.
The most.
Can I get a lifeline?
Sure. Get a lifeline.
I'm going to call my shorty because I know she going to answer all for it. And if she don't, I might be single. Let's see. Oh, I actually... Quick question. Okay. The question is, what does Lemuel Shepherd need to work out on? Like, what do I need to work on? Something that is very bad about me that I need to work on. And don't be, like, cliche. Like, keep it real.
Why are you putting me on the spot
Hurry. Come on.
The biggest thing he needs to work on. What he needs to work on the most. He is not that perfect. You guys.
Wait, I'm looking for the imperfections. Hold on a second. It'll come. Yeah.
Come on, 20 seconds.
I guess probably being more understanding to people with people who don't struggle with things that he struggles with. Like, I get it, so you should just get it. It should just click in your mind.
Okay,
so
be more
like
understanding and probably like maybe a little bit more patient.
Yeah, like everybody's just not as good as you at this or that, you know? So it's like some people really do struggle in different areas. So I think it's hard for really everybody to kind of understand, like, why don't you just get it? Like, I just get it. You know, it happens for me and I just, So probably that.
That makes sense.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
You call me.
Yeah, I was not expecting that, but that is something that is very true about me. I kind of get frustrated when I'm telling somebody 2 + 2 is 4, and they're like, "How?" Like, what's simple to me could be complex and complicated to somebody else. And I'm learning to have grace. I know exactly what she's talking about and why she said that, so that's why I'm able to elaborate on it. I need to have grace in allowing somebody to grow, like to mature, to grow, to grasp.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, if you just look back at you, be like, you know, if someone were to give you the game back, you know, when you were in high school or a little bit later on, you probably wouldn't receive it the same as you would today. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Now the other three. And we're not gonna call three of them.
We're not, absolutely not. We're not doing that. We don't got time for that. Chris would definitely tell me to stop hesitating, to believe in myself when it comes to my business. He's the one that put the battery in my back and be like, yo, bro, like, you can do this.
Yep.
Bruni, I would say she would lean closer to what my girl was saying as far as being patient, and to have a different mind where even when things don't go my way, not to look at it as if I'm chasing somebody, but to fight for what I want. I could be prideful sometimes where I don't like for people to think that they got one up on me, where especially like in a relationship, because there's been times where I needed like a woman's point of view. And I was like, man, she got me messed up. I'm not chasing her. And she was like, bro, but you love her, so you're not chasing her. You're fighting for her. So she kind of gives me like, I would say she gives me guidance and wisdom on how to deal with a woman because she is a woman. So she helps me in previous seasons with women. Benji, I don't know. I don't know what he would say. I'm trying to think. That was really the one that I was struggling with.
We give him a call if you want to give him a call.
Nah, we don't, because he's going to look at me crazy for calling him when he's trying to be with his family. What would Benji tell me that I need to work on? Probably the same thing as Chris, that I hesitate a lot. Okay. I think because we're all like in my business group chat, and I kind of pitch my ideas and like, bro, why you telling us this? Like, just do it. Like, they kind of like, you know, you can do this. Like, you don't need nobody to like.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Right. What do you believe to be true that most people don't?
Dog, what made you think of something like that? What do I believe to be true that some people don't?
Most people don't. Like you're on the outskirts of this right here.
So what I believe to be true is that there's only one God. His name is Jesus. I do not claim any other God. I do not.
Well, okay.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me? There is no other God. There is no other God, and I can prove it to you.
I guess that's fair because most of the world are Muslims, right? So that would be. No, I think it's Catholicism, Christianity is the biggest. Is it? You sure? Islam is the biggest growing, like the fastest growing, but Christianity is the biggest one. Oh, so then you gotta say something else because most people think that way.
It's not. People believe in Jesus, but they don't believe that he's God. They like even Muslims, they be like, oh, he was one of the prophets, but he didn't get crucified, none of this stuff, bro. Like they kind of like they twist the whole thing. And Christianity was here before the Muslims. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like how could you say George Washington is real? Have you seen him? But everyone else said that he's the first president, so we just rolling with it.
Yeah.
But, like, there's actually signs and wonders where, like, if you dig into the Word of God, if you listen to the Bible, like, all these revelations that was, like, in the Old Testament, they're coming to pass. Like, if I told you, bro, one day X, Y, and Z is going to happen, and then one day it happened the exact same way, it's kind of be like, yo, bro, like, that was crazy. And not only is he doing it once, he's doing it twice, he's doing it 3 times. It's miracles that happen only through him. And I stand on that. I don't care what the world could hang me, split me in half. I'm never compromising saying that there's any other God than Jesus Christ.
If you could live in any city, now this is you could pick up your job, move it there. You could pick up your family and move it there. Any city in the world, what city would it be and why?
All right, I'll say this. I only been on a plane once my whole entire life, so I ain't never like traveled for real. But it would have to be like somewhere in like Cali, Texas, or Florida, because I want a gym. Miami, that's like so
one
typical.
Of the biggest states. Like,
I say Houston. Houston, because I'm black. I would like to be around other African American people and
Houston's
have my own business. And I believe that I could be, I mean, wherever God leads me, I feel like as long as he gets the glory out of everything, that I can be successful. But based off the question, I say Houston.
Houston, fire. I plan on moving there at some point, so I'll bring you with me, man.
Let's go, man.
So far, what's been your most regretful purchase?
purchase, like I swiped my card.
Yeah, bought something, and you were like, "Why the hell did I buy this?"
I don't think I have one.
So every purchase you make, yeah, you're satisfied with it. There's no.
I'm not like a designer kind of person. Like all my money goes to my daughter.
I mean, it don't necessarily have to be designer. It could be like, I don't know, some workout equipment that you never use. It could be, it could just be something that you just like.
I mean, based off of the question, I say I probably went to a restaurant and didn't like the food. I'm not really like an overspender where I like swipe my car, and I ain't that type of person.
Gotcha. When it's all said and done, how would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered as a crazy kid who got himself one of the worst names in Rhode Island, but by the grace of God, he was able to transform and actually produce righteous fruit and lead multiple people to Christ. Someone that took care of his child was well kept, well groomed, somebody that was very successful and very loyal. I just want to be remembered for who I used to be and somebody that I put in a box and put 6 feet under. That's what I want to be remembered for.
Now, during this interview process, has there been any questions that you were like, man, I hope he asked me about this, or I hope that he asked me this question?
Nah. I hope that you ask me about my business so I can talk about it. Yeah, now that you bringing that to my life, yeah. I mean, to the podcast, yeah. As far as my business, I got so much stuff coming. As far as the shirts, it was just to plant the seed, just to get my business out there more. Just to build a community, just to see who really rock with me, seeing who really support me, to see if I can actually do what I wanted to do. Now that I've done 5 successful drops, now I'm able to like go in my bag and like bring out the stuff that I really want to start doing. Now that I know who really rock with me, I know how much to order, supply and demand. So like I'm happy. I got oversized shirts coming. I got a multiplicity of shorts. I'm already working on my fall and my winter gear, my hoodies, my tech suits, different colors, different designs. I'm already working on things for next year. So, I mean, the main important thing is, like, once you got momentum, bro, like, you just can't stop. Like, I'm learning that as soon as money come in, it got to go right to the business account. Like, I got my own LLC. I'm just being way more aware, way more just determined. I just have a mindset where I'm constantly searching up things, making up different designs, different mock-ups, different quotes. Especially like in the gym, like I actually have to like live the lifestyle that I'm trying to promote. Moving weight, being healthy, trying to make all this tie in and just be entertained in the process. So my business, I have strong faith. My goal is like within the next 3 to 5 years to open up my own gym. And I'm not talking like no little storage space. Like my gym gonna be like, by the grace of God, like 20,000 square feet. Like I'm trying to go big or go home. Like, I'd rather be broke knowing that I try to, like, hit a grand slam. Like, I don't just want to steal first and second base. Like, I want to build a community over the next 3 to 5 years where people be like, yo, like, I watch you get this out the mud. Like, I remember when you was selling shirts. Now you got some of the best equipment in Rhode Island. Like, so that's ultimately, like, the near future, long run, however you want to call it. Like, my 5-year goal is to open up a gym called ALLmighty Fitness where I'm not playing commercial music. I'm playing nothing but godly Christian music. I believe music has a strong willpower and how you operate, the things that enter into your mind, your heart, and your soul.
I agree with that 1,000%.
The things that you listen to, it conducts you to be a certain way. You listen to drill music, guns, violence, blah, blah, blah. Like, now I want to go, like, 1,000%. Start some trouble for no reason, but I want to have an atmosphere of holiness where people come into my gym and they experience righteousness, where God is able just to deal with them. Like, you can be anxious, have anxiety, suicide, depression, but you come into the presence of God and actually work out. ALLmighty Fitness have the best fitness life and spiritual, like your own mental health, where God just able to reach you. Like, I want to see people work out and mid-set just cry and get delivered. And people just be there like, yo, like, I'm praying with you. You know what I'm saying? We getting the best. We got to stop this workout because God's dealing with my brother or God's dealing with my sister. So that's the kind of community that I want. I don't see nobody else doing that, and I want to be the first one to be successful doing it.
And I'm definitely fortunate that I'm one of the people that every now and then you hit up, like showing me potential designs and what you think about this and how do you like this, what do you think about this color. And I'm one of the people that is really supporting you and wishing you nothing but the best of luck. Finally, do you have any questions for me?
I have one question. Can I have 30 seconds just to say one thing?
You can.
Jesus Christ is Lord. There's only one God. He is coming back. All he's asking you to do is turn from your wicked ways, just to seek his face and pray and be just have the spirit of humility, just to turn from whatever you're doing. As long as you have life and breath in your body, he has grace and mercy that I do every morning. The only thing that I'm here, if you watch this far, the only thing that I want you to do is just to try God. And if you're not satisfied, the devil will always take you back. But it's coming to a time where he's coming back. And don't get caught without your works undone, because he's coming.
And I know for a fact we have a grand slam with this podcast. He has his daughter in the studio, and she's looked over at least half of the time. So if we can, grab a 7-year-old away from the screen, we're doing something right. She's going to make a quick entrance. Hopefully, Lem doesn't charge me extra for this.
Come.
And wearing pink, and that was also his last drop. So very, very well.
You want to say something?
Any last words?
No?
No last words?
All right. We're going to end it just like this. Say, just move the weight.
Just move the weight.
Say it like you mean it. Come on. Say it. Just move the weight. Say it.
Just move the weight.
And we will end on that note. Y'all stay smooth out there.